Yeah, hello everyone. Good evening, all. Good morning. Good evening. Okay, fine. So we can start the session now. So in last class, we ended up with the Git, right? So in today's session, we are going to start a new tool called Maven. So write the heading as Maven. So what is the name of the tool? Maven. Yeah, please. Fine. Okay. So in today's session, we are going to discuss about Maven. But before that, before I start the session, I'll ask you a question. What is the main role and responsibility of a DevOps engineer for deployment, right? So we are going to deploy the applications. So if I want to deploy the application, from where I'm getting the code? Eh? From GitHub, right? So developers initially write the code on their local machines, and at the end of the day, they are going to send it to the GitHub. From the GitHub, anyone from any place, from anywhere, we can able to get the code or not, sir? So first thing is we got the code, and that code we are going to deploy into our servers. This is our work, right? Correct or not? But here my question is, I have the basic code. Okay, I have the code. Can I directly deploy that code, sir? No. Why we can't deploy the direct code? Okay. Code need to be? Sorry? To compress code. Like you are telling the answer, but can you please a bit elaborate it? We need to test the code. Huh? Okay. So can anyone tell me about SDLC or DevOps lifecycle? In DevOps lifecycle, first of all, plan, code, build. Currently planning is done. What technical architects will design the plan. Of course, you can decide the plan. You know the type of architectures, right? So first architecture is standalone, one-tier architecture. For client server, we use two-tier architecture. And for web applications, we are going to use three-tier architecture. So planning part is done, like how to do the planning of architecture. Second part, coding. Whose work is coding? Developers. But again, we learned some of the basic exercise of how to use the Git and how to use the GitHub. So plan done, code done. Now what is the phase number 3? Build. So what is the meaning of build actually? How do we explain the build? Generate. We can change the code. Okay, then still over. Exactly. The exact meaning. Okay. Tell me what is an artifact? You said correct. Think you're a developer, right? Huh? No? No? Not working anywhere? Okay. Great. Then how you know like it is going to be exactly artifact? You listen somewhere, huh? Okay, fine. So now in today's class, we are going to discuss about complete like how the Maven is going to work with us. Okay. So like see, I'm going to explain Maven for all of you. You previously have attended for any DevOps sessions? No? Okay. So here we have it. So to explain this concept of artifact, you need to know the process of cooking chicken. How many of you know like process of making chicken? First of all, how many of you love chicken here? How to like love to eat? All of you, huh? You guys won't eat, huh? Okay. How many of you don't like chicken? Meat, never. If you don't know it, like you cannot understand the Maven concept. And do one thing. Today I'll give gap. Just go to a restaurant and ask them process, okay? Then come to class tomorrow, I'll explain. Yeah, like trust me, really. If you know the process of making chicken, Maven is going to be very easy. So what you were talking, like what is the comparison for Maven and what is the comparison for chicken making means? Of course, there is nothing comparison, but I'm gonna compare. Why? Because for your clarity. Tell me one thing. So whenever if you go for chicken shop, so My goal is to cook the chicken, sir. If I go to chicken shop, what he's going to do? He's going to give the raw meat. Correct? My end product, my final output is I want to make biryani. What I want to make? But what that butcher will do, butcher means the people who is going to sell the meat, right? We can call this a butcher man. Okay? Butcher man. I think how many of you watched Animal movie? In Animal movie, like his occupation also butcher man, right? Same thing. Fine. So when the butcher man gives you the chicken, that is going to be raw meat, right? But what is my like end product I want here? I want to get the chicken biryani. Sir, can I directly convert raw meat into chicken biryani? We need to go for a process or not, sir? Yeah, please. So in that process, first of all, what you will get is you will get the chicken. Okay. So after chicken, when you are getting the chicken, what you are going to do? First of all, you are going to clean it. After that, you are going to marinate it. And after that, you will add some oil, spices, rice, and everything. And finally, your chicken biryani is going to prepare or not, sir? That is the process, right? So whenever we coat the chicken, like whenever we get the chicken, so this chicken, first of all, we are going to clean it. After that, we are going to marinate. Finally, we'll add the oil, spices, and rice based upon our requirement. So then only we can get the end product. That is our final output called chicken biryani. So from making the raw chicken to chicken biryani, this is what we can follow in general. Sir, same process is going to applicable for the IT company also, sir. Initially, what developer will give? Direct basic code. For example, let's take in our case Java code. Which code? If you directly take the Java code, it will not work for you. Okay. So listen the process. It is going to be very, very important. Whenever developer give you the Java basic code, we are going to compile the code. What we are going to do? First of all, what is the meaning of compiling? Compiling means to check whether the code is running properly or not. For example, I write the code. Okay. Directly, blindly, I cannot use the code, sir. I want to compile. Why? Because in the compilation only, I can get the mistakes, right? Whatever the code is consisting, like that. After compiling, you are going to test the code. And after testing the code, finally, you are going to convert into artifact. What we are going to convert into? Artifact is our final product of our code. Remember, this is what we require to deploy the application. We don't want source code. We don't want source code here. We want the artifact here. What we want? Developer will give the source code only, but we want to convert the source code into artifact, and that artifact we are going to deploy into the server. Is the process clear for all of you? Now again, one more time. First of all, initially, Java code is going to be given by developer. We are going to test. After testing, we are going to convert into artifact is nothing but our final product of our code. What is the meaning of artifact? So this artifact we are going to deploy into our servers. This is what a DevOps engineer work is going to be. Whatever the process I said for you, same process is going to implement on real time in the same way. Developer is some other member. He's going to give us the code. We're going to take the code and we're going to deploy into the servers. So here what we are deploying into the server. For example, like what we are going to eat, raw chicken or like a converted chicken. Like that is chicken biryani, right? So he's going to give the raw chicken only, but we cannot eat the raw chicken. Okay. So we are going to process that chicken and finally we are going to make chicken biryani. Then only we are going to consume it, right? Here also developer will give the basic Java code, so raw code. We don't have any use with it. Like we can't use that code initially. We're going to process. That means we're going to compile that code and we're going to test that code. And finally, we're going to convert into artifact. So this artifact, we are going to deploy into the servers. Now is the process clear for all of you? Everyone? Fine. Okay, sir, like you are saying about artifact. Like what is artifact here? Already I said artifact is nothing, but it is the final product of our code. Artifact is what we can call as. So to create an artifact, we need to use the build tool here. So remember, you are telling about artifact. Artifact is, I know, artifact is nothing but final product of our code. Okay, that means we can call it as final stage. But to create the artifact, what you want? To create the artifact, I need to use build tool. Which tool? So remember, so to create the artifact, here we are going to use the build tool. Sir, you are telling about Java, na? Huh? But for example, if I use Python, or if I use C programming language, or if I use .NET, or if I use like a JavaScript, so based upon the programming language, the build tool is going to differ. For example, if you go to meat shop, let's take chicken. What's the price of chicken? 200 max. And what's the price of mutton? Like 400. I'll take it for 5 kgs if anybody knows for 400. Okay. So mutton is going to be almost like 800 to 1000 rupees. Okay. And fish is going to vary somewhere between 300 to 400, right? Sir, everything is meat only now, sir. Chicken is a meat, mutton is a meat, and like this fish is also going to be meat. But are you seeing the price variation here? Same like we have n number of programming languages. Java is a programming language. Python also programming language. .NET is a programming language. C, C++ also programming. But for each programming language, the build tool is going to differ. Just like for each meat, the cost is going to different, right? So here also for each and every programming, the build tool is going to vary. Is it clear for all of you now? Again, initially developer give basic raw code. What is going to give? Basic raw code. We are going to convert into artifact. So what is the meaning of artifact? Final product of the code. So if I want to create the artifact, which tool I want to use? Build tool, right? So based upon the programming language, your build tool is going to change. For Java, we have one build tool. For Python, we have some other build tool. For .NET, we have some other build tool. So based upon the programming language, your build tool is also going to vary. Is it clear till now? Okay, sir. You said about what is artifact, and to create the artifact, we want the build tool. And based upon the programming language also, build tool is going to change. Okay, fine. I understand. But what is my concept here is how many kind of artifacts we have? 3 artifacts. Kind of artifacts are going to be 3 kind of artifacts. So here artifact number 1 is what you can call as jar file. Which file? So the full form is going to be Java archive. Okay. So first artifact is going to be jar. It is going to be Java archive. In real time, jar file is going to work for backend processor. Jar file is going to work for what? That means, for example, if I have a code, this code need to work on backend only, not on front end. This code need to work on only backend. In that case, jar file is what we want to deploy. Second one is going to be var file. So basically, we deploy these var files in real time. Var file is nothing but web archive. What's the meaning of var file? So in this var file, we have only front end code plus back end code. If you see here, jar file, we have only back end code, sir. But for var file, you are going to have both front end code plus. Acha, tell me an example for front end programming language, you know. HTML, CSS, JavaScript. And for back end? Oracle. SQL. No, I'm not asking about the databases. Actually, we're telling about databases. But I am asking about background, like backend programming language, like Java, Python, React. So this is what we can call as backend programming language. Okay. Or like any JS will come under like that only. Fine. Again, jar file will work only for backend. Var file work like only for front end plus backend. I mean, like we cannot call it as only for. So here we have 2 things. So jar file for backend, var file for front end and backend. And there is one more artifact called year file. Which one? So year file is what we can call as enterprise archive. So basically we use this for enterprise level of application. So here we have the both combination of jar files plus. So forgot about the third one. So you need to have an idea about jar file and var file. So jar file full form is what, sir? Java archive. So there we have which code, front end code or back end code? Var file means web archive. So in web archive here we are going to have both front end code plus back end code. And year file is nothing but your enterprise archive. Here you are going to have the combination of jar files plus var file. But which type of artifact we deploy more in real time among those 3? Var file. Which file? So var file means here we have the front end code plus back end code. So front end code is going to develop by UI UX team, sir. Already you know this point, right? We discussed in the very starting days. That means about day 2 of demo, I think so. So front end code is going to develop by whom? UI UX or front end developers, and back end code is going to develop by back end developers. I'll tell one point for all of you. So this is not a point of syllabus actually, but I'll tell for your clarity. So if a person develop only front end, we can call them as UI UX developers. Okay. If the person develop only front end code, we can call them as UI UX developer. If a person develop only back end code, then we can call them as back end developers, or you can call as programmers also. But if a person develop both front end code plus back end code, what we can call them as full stack developers. Okay. So remember, full stack developer is a kind of developer who work on both front end code plus. But in our companies, we have front end team and back end team separate. Of course, there will be some full stack developers too, but that doesn't mean these people are going to work on complete application. Okay. So we have different teams, front end team and back end team. So based upon the requirement, developers sometimes might work on front end and sometimes might work on back end, like that. These are fine. So you said about how to convert an artifact from basic Java code to final artifact, and you said about artifact is nothing but our final product of our code. Okay. To create the artifact, we are going to use build tool, and based upon the programming language, your build tool is going to change. So type of artifacts, jar file is for backend purpose, var file is having for front end plus backend purpose, year file is having for jar file plus var file combination together. But in real time, we majorly focus on deploying the var files here. Which files we keep focus on? Okay, fine. But sir, here in this process, you need to understand one thing. If I have Java code, what I have? If I want to convert my basic Java code into artifact, I know I need to go for build and test. Okay, fine. If I have the Java code, if I go for compiling, if I go for testing, finally I can convert into the artifact. But if you want to convert artifact, you need to use a build tool. What we need to use? What is that build tool in our course means Maven. Till now we haven't discussed about Maven. What we have discussed is what Maven can do. Okay. I haven't spoken anything about Maven. Just I spoke about what Maven can capable of doing. So Maven main purpose in real time is basic Java code we are going to convert into artifact with the help of a build tool. Which tool? And in our course, what is the build tool we are going to use on? Maven. So this is what the prerequisite you need to understand. So is the concept clear for all of you? I just want to convey you only one thing. Basic code will not work. We want to convert into artifact. To create the artifact, we want to use the build tool. And what is the build tool in our case? I just want to convey this for all of you. Okay. I think Colin, you can able to hear me now. So sorry guys, here we have some power issue. So that is the reason like we are having disturbance now. So it seems sorted out now. Fine. So like what is our major intention for today is we have the Java code, which is the basic raw code. So we are going to convert into artifact. So to convert into artifact, we need to have the what is the built in our course here? Maven. So already as discussed, based upon the programming language, your build is going to, but assume like here we are having Java code. In the Java code, your build is going to be Maven. So see like what exactly the Maven and why we are using Maven means. So Maven, it's a build tool used for our project. That means in my project, you have the project. For example, in my project, I have the code. If I want to compile it or if I want to do unit kind of like unit testing and this kind of activities, I can do with the help of my build tool. So build means adding the dependency. For example, we can call them as libraries. What we can call it as? So I'll tell you one thing. For example, like have you ever seen the basic Java programming, basic Java code, or even basic C programming language? So there we can use something called as libraries. Simply what we can call is like a math.io, utils.io. Okay, so this we can use, right? And we can import some of the packages, import star.os. Okay, so what this build tool will do, for our code, we have some external dependencies. What we have? So this dependency is nothing but your library. So these kind of libraries are going to add by the Maven tool. It is also called as project management tool. So remember, Maven, you can call it as build tool or you can call it as project management tool. So you can call build or you can call as project management. So here project management tool means Maven is going to do one favor for us. What is the favor, It helps to create the project structure, sir. What is Maven can able to do? Project structure means, for example, let's consider it is my server. Okay. Let's consider, or it is my local machine. Okay. Here I have the code, sir. I have the application code here. Now tell me, sir, in the application code, all front-end files will be on one folder and all back-end files will be on one folder, correct? So based upon the requirement, your front-end files might host on some separate folder and your back-end files might host on some separate folder. So this kind of structure creating can be done by the Maven. So Maven can able to do it. Okay. So Maven can also be called as project management tool. So the main purpose of project management tool is to create the project structure. That means all the front-end files together and all the back-end files together. And Maven is written on Java programming language, sir. Just like Git, we use which programming language? Maven, we use Java programming language. So that means with the help of Java programming only, we can able to work with Maven. Remember, it is very, very important. Maven written on Java programming language, but without Java programming language, we cannot install Maven. Okay. And coming to the version, which version of Java you want? Version 1.8.0. Which version of Java you want, sir? Version 1.8.0. And in which year Maven came into the market? 2000. That means just a year before Git came into the market. Git came on which year? 2005. Maven came on the year 2000. Git is written on which programming language? Maven, Java. Git is free and open source and platform independent. Maven also free and open source and platform independent. And in interview, they are going to ask you a question. What is the home path of Maven? .m2, sir. Write this as interview question. First question, what is Maven? What is Maven? And question number 2 is, what is Maven home path? Question number 1, what is Maven? And question number 2, what is Maven home path? What is your question number 1? What is Maven. Second question. What is the Maven home path? So Maven is a build tool, or you can call Maven as project management tool. You can use it to create it as artifact. And what is the Maven home path, sir, here? .m2. So again, one more time I'm explaining about Maven. So it's a build tool used to build our projects. So building means adding the dependency. That is what we can call as libraries. It is also called as project management tool. And it helps to create the project structure. So Maven is written on Java programming language. Okay. And without Java programming language, we cannot run the Maven. And which version of Java we need to use for Maven? And Maven comes in the year 2000. Home path of Maven is .m2. Is the intro of Maven clear for all of you? Everyone. Now, online, what about you? Can you please confirm, is the Maven intro clear for all of you? You can ping me on comment section. Is it clear or not? What about remaining 50%? Like I am getting response from only 1 or 2. Are you guys not following the class? Okay. So here already we discussed. So based upon the programming language, your build tool is going to change. For Java, your build tool is, of course, you can use Maven for Python also. Remember, so you can use Maven for both Java and Python. So there is one more programming language called Python. So for Python, we can use Gradle, sir. Of course, I'm not saying we cannot use Maven, but Maven also can able to help. Like I'm writing slash, what we call Maven. And for Java also, we can use Gradle. Okay. Or you can use, and also you can use, but I'm not writing all of them. Okay. I'm just telling you. Of course, we can also use this. Okay. But I'm not writing here, but you can remember. Next, for .NET, VS Code we can use. Okay. And for C or C++ programming language, we can use Makefile. What we can use, sir? These are going to be our build tools. What we can call them as? That means these tools will add dependency for your programming language, sir. Again, one more time I'm telling. For Java, what is the compatible tool? Of course, you can also use Gradle and for Python, we can use, of course, we can use Maven also for it. And next, for .NET, we can use VS Code, and for C or C++, we can use Makefile. So based upon the programming language, as per we discussed, so here the programming language is vary. That means that build tool is also going to vary. But here in this case, we are going to deploy Java applications on our course. For Java means which kind of tool we need to use? Maven. So now here comes the main object that is called as pom.xml. What we can call it as? So remember, sir, here pom.xml is the main file of entire Maven. Is the point clear for all of you? So here pom.xml means here first you need to understand one thing. POM means project object model. What is the meaning of POM? What is this POM file consist of? Means I'll ask you one thing. For example, like if you go to restaurant, okay, you need to know what is the available dishes in the restaurant. What you will refer to? Menu card, right? Here pom.xml is menu code for our biryani. Like that means for our build tool actually. Sir, in the menu code, what you can see, whatever the restaurant people can able to do, every information about the restaurant is going to available on here also. Every information about the project is going to available on a file called pom.xml. Simply pom.xml is nothing but the file which consists of project information. In simple words, we can call pom.xml as the file which consists information of the project. That means for my application, what is the name of my application? What is the version of my application? And what is the build tool I'm using? Okay. And what is the type of artifact I'm converting? What is the testing tool I'm using? What are the artifactories I'm using? Every end-to-end, each information is going to available on the pom.xml. Where it is? So again, pom means project object model. Okay. This file will have complete information of the project. Example, we have the name of the application, we have tools, what tools we are using, and what kind of application you are using. And snapshot. Snapshot, I'll tell you later what is the meaning of snapshot. And also we are going to have the, just like whenever you go for restaurant, each and every dish is going to available on menu card. Here also, each and every information about the project is going to available on the pom.xml file. Which file? So you can call the main file of Maven is pom.xml. What is the main file of Maven? What does pom.xml consist of? Information about the project. Fine. And the extension for the file is .xml. What is the extension here? XML stand for extensible markup language. XML stand for what? Extensible markup language. Acha, okay, fine then. So here, the only main point you need to remember is wherever your source code is there, your pom.xml need to be there. Okay. Here, I write this on note point. This file must be on project folder. This file must be on. Again, coming back to the restaurant example, if you go to restaurant, menu code is not on the restaurant, sir. Menu code is somewhere else. Are you going to get any information of the dishes what you are going to order? You might get confused or not, sir. Here also, if you don't have pom.xml on your folder, operations are not going to perform. Okay. So where does your pom.xml is going to store? Inside the project folder. Without this file, Maven will not work for you. Already I said. So just like without menu card, we cannot order anything. Here also without pom.xml, Maven will not work for anything, sir. So each project, okay, each project, we need to have at least only one pom.xml. So here I tried this one. For each project, we need to have only one. So if I have multiple pom.xml, it is not going to accept. For one project, one pom.xml. So multiple project can't use the same pom.xml. That means already I said one pom.xml can able to use for only one project. If I have 10 projects, for 10 projects, same pom.xml will not work. Or for one project, 10 pom.xml again won't work. So 1:1 ratio. For one project, how many pom.xml you can work? Can I reuse the pom.xml to any other folder, sir? Is it even possible? No. So again, I'll explain this concept one more time for you. So listen now. So pom.xml is a file here. So pom means project object model. Inside this file, what we'll have? Just say it loudly now. Inside this file, what we have? Complete information of the project. Like information means what? We have the name, we have the tools, we have the version, snapshot, dependence, and so on. We have a number of things. Extension is .xml. Okay, that means extensible markup language. So what is the note point here? The file must be on project folder. If the file is not on the project folder, your Maven will not work for you, sir. And each project will need to have only one pom. Multiple projects cannot able to use single pom.xml. As well as single pom.xml can be able to use with only one project. That means 1:1 ratio. So is the concept of pom.xml clear for all of you? Everyone. Okay, now online, what about you? Can you please confirm, is the pom.xml concept clear or not for all of you? If it is clear, we can proceed for the practical part of it. I would like to get a response from all of you online. Okay, fine. So clear for all of you. Great. Okay, sir. Now, till now we said theoretical part. So now let's convert this theoretical part into practical part. So here I'm going to do the Maven setup now. First of all, what I'm going to do is step number 1, I'm going to create a EC2 instance. So here, where is my server? So create a fresh EC2 instance. So here already I have one running EC2 instance. So I don't want this. Basically, I can remove this one. I think it's Docker. I installed for our last class. Fine, let me remove. Hmm. So here, first of all, I'm going to create an EC2 instance with Amazon X2. I think the internet is too slow here. Let's wait for a couple of minutes. Seems the server is not working actually. AWS console. Internet is good, but it's not loading anything. So guys, here if you see, the step number 1 is going to be create an EC2 instance. In step number 1, what are the things I'm installing here? I'm installing Git package to get the source code. Java 1.8.0 is the Maven dependency. That means without Java 1.8.0, my Maven will not work. And third one, I'm installing Maven. And what is the last package here? Tree package. You don't know what is the meaning of tree. I'll tell you later. Okay. So Git to get the source code. Java is the compatibility of Maven. Like that means it is dependency actually what we can call as version 1.8.0. Maven for the build tool. And tree is to see the files in a structured format. Okay. So I'm installing all of these 4 packages now. So let me connect to the server first of all. I think AWS console is not working properly. It's working too slowly today. Not sure why it is working slowly. Okay, fine. So now see here. First of all, here I'm installing Git server. Why I'm installing the Git means to get the source code. Yum install Git. And after that, I'm installing Java 1.8.0. Why? Because Java 1.8.0 is a dependency for Maven. So give Java hyphen 1.8.0 hyphen OpenJDK. And later I'm going to install Maven package to build. And tree is to see the files in a structured format. So now the installation is going around. After that, we need to check the Maven version. Remember guys, for sometimes Maven will get the Java 11 and 17 versions in some few occasions. If I get 11 and 17 version, your commands will not work. Okay. So we need to check whether Java 1.8.0 is attached for Maven or not. If I give the command Maven hyphen version, it will work. So for Maven command, you need to use mvn hyphen version. Which version of Java is here? That means it will work properly. But sometimes instead of 1.8.0, here you can see 17 and 11 version in some occasions, not regularly. At that time, it will not work, sir. So remember this point, all of you. Fine then. So here next, what exactly I'm going to tell you is here you need to know something about called as goals actually, Maven goals. So see this one. So now let's understand what is the meaning of goal. Okay. Sir, goal is nothing but a small task, sir. What is the meaning of goal? For example, let's consider I want to compile my source code. That is called as a goal. I want to test my source code. That is called as a, if I want to convert the code into artifact, that is also what we can call as every work you are doing in Maven. That is what we are going to call as goal. What we can call as. And one more thing, here you install Git, here you install Maven, here you install Java, everything you install. Now you want to compile source code or not, sir? Source code from where you are getting? From the GitHub. So now let's assume in the GitHub, I have the code, sir. I want to download this code to my local repository. What I'll do, which command I can use? Git clone command. So if you use the command git clone and give the repository URL, automatically from this repository, you can get the code. Are you seeing the repository here? Go to Jenkins Java project. Here you can see 2 files. Are you seeing source? And are you seeing pom.xml? Jenkins file is there, but there is no, like there is, like it is not required now. So I'm removing this one. So you can keep that, but I'm removing the Jenkins file here. Here you are having source and pom.xml, sir. Already we discussed. Pom.xml is the file which consists every information of the project. Now I'll give the command called tree command. Which command? This showing the structure of our files or not, sir? Inside source, I have main folder and I have test folder. Inside main, inside Java home, inside my web control. Are you seeing the calculator Java file here? And here inside test also I have the calculator test.java. So remember, this is the way how developers are going to give code for us. Already we discussed. It is what we can call as basic Java raw code. Which code? So this raw code we are going to convert into by using build tool. What is a build tool now? Maven. So now how to convert means, first of all, we are going to compile, test, and create the, this is the process. Now look into it. But if I want to do that one, first of all, I need to know what is the meaning of goal. Goal is nothing but a task to perform. So here you need to understand the Maven life cycle. In Maven life cycle, we are having 7 goals. Like we are having one life cycle: infant, child, teen, adult, old. Correct or not? That means one by one process only we need to execute. That means we need to pass through first phase, second phase, third phase. Here also, Maven life cycle will totally have 7 goals. That means if I want to execute goal number 2, first of all, I need to pass goal number 1. If I want to execute goal number 3, I want to pass goal number 2, like that. Each goal will work for the different output. To execute the goal, we need to have the plugin. What we need to have here? What is the meaning of plugin? Means it's a small software which automates our work. Here, 2 things. First of all, goal. Goal is nothing but a basic task. To perform the goal, what we need to have? Plugin is nothing but a small software. For example, if I want to compile the code, I need to have compiler or not, sir? I don't have compiler, sir, but Maven will download the compiler plugin to compile the code. I want to test the code, sir. Do I have an install in testing tool here? But Maven will download the testing plugin. Instead of tools, we are using plugin simply. Got the point? Instead of tools, what we are using? So for example, like you want to go to some destination. You don't have your own car. Will you rent some other car or not? At the end of the day, what you want to take the car and you want to go to destination. You don't have your own car, but you can rent car from some other place or not. Here also, we don't need to download tools, sir. Maven will rent the tools in the form of plugins. In the form of what? Simply plugin is nothing but another version of tool you can understand. Okay, it's a small software actually which can automate our work. Is the process clear for all of you? Yes. And again, one more example I'll tell you. So here, let me open the paint here. In the paint, you will get more clarity how this plugin will work. So let's come to the same car example here. Okay. For example, this is you. Okay. You want car, sir. What you want? For which purpose you want car? To reach the destination, but I don't have car. What you will do? You will go to some store near to you. Like store means like some other place. Okay. And what you can do is you can rent a car. What you can do? Rent a car. It is also a car, sir, but not our own. Some rented car. If I have my own car, I need to have a lot of money. But for rented car, I need to pay only few amount or not, sir. Initially, if I have car, I can directly reach the destination here. For example, it is called as destination. Okay. If I have more money, I can buy a car. I can reach to my destination. If I don't have money, what I can do? I can rent a car, and again I can reach to. Here also, initially we need to download tools, but if I don't have tools now, I can rent the tools actually in the form of plugin. In the form of, but at the end of the day, with your own car or with your rent car, you can able to reach your destination or not, sir. Here also, at the end of the day, with our tools or with our plugins, at the end of the day, we will convert into artifact only. Is the process clear for all of you? Everyone? Fine. So now here I'm going to execute that goal number 1, that is called as MVN compile. What is the goal number 1? This command is going to compile my source code, sir. But before compiling the source code, how many folders I have here? Only one folder I'm talking about, source folder, right? But if I give the command MVN compile, new folder will create. Initially, I don't have tools. So it is going to download the plugins. Are you seeing plugins is downloading? Just like if I have car, I can go to destination. But I don't have car. What I'm doing now? Here also I want compiler, but I don't have compiler, sir. Now I'm using plugin to compile the code. Same process. Are you seeing build success? Compiling one source file. So source file is compiled. Now clear the screen and give LL again. Are you seeing target folder here? How this target folder came? By compiling the source code. Now, if you see the explanation here, I have clearly mentioned MVN compile used to compile the source code, sir. Initially, developer will give .java code in main folder. Which folder? If you want me to show it properly, just scroll a bit up. Okay, here I'm scrolling completely to the top of the file here. Why? Because I want to show you what we have seen in the last. After downloading only, right? So here, initially in the main folder, is developer giving .java file? If I compile .java file, it is going to convert into .class file. Which file? Now, if you see here, inside target folder, you can see .class file. Are you seeing .class file here? This is what MVN compile can do, sir. MVN compile is to compile the code. Whenever I have .java file inside main folder, if I compile it, it is going to convert into .class file. .class file is in which folder? Is it practically proven or not, sir? Now let's understand what is the meaning of .java code and .class file. I mean like .java file and .class file. .java means basic raw code. Already we know. We can't use the code. But once I compile the .java code, it is going to convert into .class. This .class is what we can call as executable code. Which code? That means we can use the code, sir. Just like raw meat and processed meat. Raw meat we cannot eat. But converted or processed meat, can we able to eat or not, sir? For example, if you go to KFC, initially they will have raw chicken only, but they will cook it, they will make some process, and they are going to deliver. So, which meat we are going to use? Raw meat or like a converted meat? Here also, developer will give the Java code only, which we cannot be able to use, sir. But if I convert .java into .class, this file I can use. So, all these activities is going to be done by which command here? MVN. MVN compile main purpose is to compile the code. If I use the MVN compile, .java will become which one can we use? .java or .class? Is it clear for all of you? Goal number 1. Goal number 2 is going to be MVN test. MVN test is to test the source code, sir. Here testing means unit testing, not automation testing. I am talking about unit testing actually. So give the command MVN. If I give MVN test, again calculator test.java is going to convert into calculator test.class. See now, MVN test I gave here. So again, same car story, same old story. I don't have car. I don't have testing tool. What I'm doing now? Renting from the plugins. Now again at the end of the day, plugin is going to take to my destination. Same process again, okay? So if you go and see, testing performed or not, sir? So 2 tests I cleared here. I don't have any failures. I don't have any errors. Everything is working fine for me. Now clear the screen and again give the command tree command. Previously, you can see calculator test.java. But now are you seeing calculator test.class here? Are you able to see it or not? So this is the goal number 2. Goal number 1 is MVN compile. What is the purpose of MVN compile? To compile the code. Goal number 2, MVN test. Use it to test the code. Now goal number 3 is very, very important. MVN package. MVN package goal is to create the artifact. What is the purpose of MVN package? We want artifact only now, sir. So now here I'm gonna give the command MVN package. Basically, these 7 goals we don't require. I'll just tell for your clarity. At the end of the day, we work only on single goal, sir. All these 7 goals we won't work. But again, I'll give each and every clarity for all of you. Now, if I give now, just to give the tree command again. Why I'm giving tree command means it is going to show files inside the folder without going to the folder. Now, are you seeing var files are in Netflix var file? That is the artifact we want only or not, sir? That artifact you are going to deploy in the real time. That is your activity as a DevOps engineer. Now tell me, which tool we use it to create the artifact? Maven 2. First of all, we use Git to get the code. And after getting the code, what we have done? We compile it. After compiling, what we have done? After testing, finally we convert into same process, whatever I said in the class, it's showing practically for you now. Acha, fine. But here there is a issue. Sir, artifact you are creating on project folder only. For example, if I delete the artifact, it is going to be issue or not, sir? For that purpose, we can use one more command called mvn install. Which command? This command is used to create the artifact on both the project folder and Maven home path also. So remember, if you use mvn package, only one artifact will create on project folder. If I use mvn install, the artifact is going to create on both my project directory as well as Maven home path. Now let's see it. If I go here and give the command mvn, now I can get two artifacts. One is on my local folder. Second one is on Maven home path. What is the Maven home path? Dot m2. So now here if I give cd / inside root, I have dot m2, sir. In which folder I have? Inside root I have dot m2. See, you can see here. Installing this to this path. Okay, see, if you see here, installing this var file to inside root, inside dot m2, inside repository. Okay. Inside repository I have in, and again I have RAM folder. Inside RAM I have Netflix. Okay, just to give LL for list actually. I'm not going to enter to that repository. I'm just listing that repository. Inside that Netflix, okay, 1.2.2 is a snapshot. Okay, hit enter. Are you seeing var file again here? In my local, I have one var file. In this Maven home path also I have one more var file or not, sir? Now, even though if I lost my var file, that var file is again going to store on my local home path. So this is the difference between mvn install versus mvn package. Mvn package means only one var file. mvn install means how many var files? First var file will be on project folder. Second var file will be on Maven home path. It is a Maven home path actually. Here path also I have given. Next, mvn clean. This command is to delete all the artifacts. Sir. If I go and see here, currently how many folders you are having? Two folders, source and target. If I give the command mvn clean, now target folder is going to remove, sir. Clear the screen. Target folder gone. This is what we can call as Maven goals. Again, one more time, I'm going to explain these goals for all of you. Goal number one is mvn compile. What is the purpose of mvn compile? To compile the code. See, mvn compile. First time it took almost 30 seconds, sir, but this time it won't took 30 seconds. Why? Because first time we don't have plugins, but now I have plugins or not, sir? I can reuse the plugin. See, output I can get within 1 second. Output get like we got output or not, sir? Why first time we spend some time and why not second time? Means in first time, do we have plugins? For downloading the plugins, first time it took some time, but for second time, is taking any kind of time wastage, no? Why? Because plugins are already downloaded. Okay. So mvn compile is to compile the code. Next command, mvn. What is the mvn test command will do? To test the code. Now compiling done, testing done. What you are going to create next? Artifact you are going to create. What is the command I can give? mvn package. This goal is going to create the artifact. So if I create artifact in single place, it is going to be risk for me. For that purpose, what I'm going to do? mvn install. So mvn install will create two artifacts. One is on my local, second one is going to be on Maven home path. What is Maven home path? And finally, mvn clean. What is this command going to do? To clean the target. So here one thing I'll tell you, there is one more last command. So till now we performed this many commands, right? mvn compile, mvn test, mvn package, mvn install, mvn clean. In real time, are we going to perform all these commands? Means no. I will use only one command, mvn clean package. Which command? This command will perform end-to-end activities. That means from compiling to installing, every activity will be performed. Sir, if you want me to show, give the command mvn clean. If I give mvn clean package, automatically it is going to perform compiling, testing package install. Why? Because already we discussed Maven have life cycle. What is Maven going to have? Maven have life cycle means simply if I don't execute step number 1, if I execute directly step number 2, step number 1 will perform, sir. Okay. See your clarity. Life cycle means if I execute step number 2 without executing step number 1, step number 1 will automatically execute. Again, if I execute step number 3 without executing step number 2, step number 2 is always going to be execute. If I execute step number 4 without executing step number 3, step number 3 also going to. So in the Maven lifecycle, what is the last command means mvn clean package. If I use mvn clean package, are you seeing testing here? Are you seeing compiling here? And are you seeing artifact is created here? Like that. Okay. And you can see the copying of artifact also. So this is what we can call as Maven lifecycle. Maven lifecycle means if we don't execute step number 2, step number 1 is automatically going to execute itself. Is the Maven goals clear for all of you? Everyone. What about you online? Are these Maven goals clear for all of you? And again, no need to remember each and every goal. Only mvn clean package is what you are going to use on real time. So online, can you please confirm in chat whether you are able to get this concept or not? Fine. How to use plugin means plugin will download directly, Vanessa. Whenever you use the command first time, na, plugin will be directly downloading. Okay. Hope it is clear for you, Vanessa. Okay, sir, fine. You said about these many things. But what are the problems we are facing without Maven? For example, if I don't have Maven, I cannot create and I cannot create the project and we cannot build and deploy the. These are the problems without Maven. So we cannot do the artifacts. We cannot create artifacts. We cannot create project structure and we cannot create the building and deployment process. So it is not possible. So in interview, they are going to ask one more question, Maven versus AND. It is going to be an interview question, guys. So damn sure out of 10 interviews, in 7 or 8 interviews, you can get this question. We have one more alternative for the Maven. That is what we can call as AND. What we can call as. So here, the difference between Maven versus AND is Maven is a build tool. Which tool? And project management tool also. But whereas AND is only build tool, sir. It is not a project management tool. Is it clear? Maven is both build and project management tool, but AND is only a build tool. Second one, Maven has pom.xml. Maven has what? But AND is not having pom.xml. AND will have build.xml. Third one, Maven have lifecycle. Already we seen, right? But AND will not have the. In Maven, we are using plugins. Plugins are reusable or not, sir? But in AND, we have scripts which are not reusable. Maven is declarative. That means if you declare everything on pom.xml, automatically the process is going to run smoothly. But AND is procedural. That means you need to tell each and every process one by one. So these are the main differences of AND versus Maven. No need to remember all these 5 differences. Remember any 2 or 3 differences. Again, one more time I'll tell you. Maven is a build tool and project management. But AND is only build tool. Maven has pom.xml, but AND has. Maven has lifecycle, but AND will not have. Maven, we use plugins which are reusable, but AND we use scripts which are not. Maven is declarative and AND is. So this is the main thing about the Maven. Is the concept clear or not, sir? So this is the Maven. So Maven is very, very small concept actually. No need to take special class for Maven. Okay, directly I can show this on Jenkins in within 5 minutes. But why the reason I'm telling this separately means you need to understand each and every process. Remember guys, DevOps is not like other courses. Okay, DevOps is not like other courses. In other courses, if you miss one topic, you can go to second topic, sir. But DevOps is not like that. Even if you miss a single class, you don't know what is happening in the next class. Trust me. Don't come class for tomorrow. Try to come to class day after tomorrow and tell me whether you are able to understand anything or not. Okay. Even if you miss a single day, the next class is going to be very, very helpful for you. That is the reason why I'm explaining each and every process multiple times. Of course, single time nobody can able to remember. I know. That is the reason in class only I am repeating each and every concept multiple times. If not first time, you can get the clarity on second time. So now is the tool clear for all of you? So now write troubleshooting technique for Maven. Troubleshooting technique. That's what I'm going to tell Swapnil. Don't worry. So I'll tell you like how to troubleshoot these kind of things. Yes, Wajid, I'm going to give the source code for your class notes. Don't worry. These notes, I'm going to give it for you know. From these notes, you can get the source code and everything. Okay. So notes. And again, I'll give history also. Basically, history, we don't need this now as of now, but I'll give for your clarity. And finally, give the command mbn clean. This is going to clear everything. Okay. Give the command history, you know. This is the commands we have performed. Okay. So write troubleshooting technique. Troubleshooting technique number one. Like write Maven issue number one in troubleshooting. Maven issue number one. For example, sir, I'll ask you a question. Like I'll go to my path here, cd. Dot. Tell me what is the command to compile mvn. If I give mvn compile, now see what is going to happen here. Compile is not going to work. Why it is not working? Build. Try to read this one. Build fail. Why? Because the goal you specified requires a project to execute. That means you give a goal, but this goal need to have a project to run. But there is no POM in the directory. Currently, in my folder, I'm having pom.xml here. If Maven goals are not working, means the first reason will be pom.xml. If you don't have pom.xml, your Maven goals are not going to work for you. So it is a troubleshooting technique number one. Of course, we have multiple troubleshoots okay in the Maven, but I am telling the step by step. Maven issue number one. If goals are not executing, check pom.xml in the folder. It is a basic troubleshooting only, but don't worry, I'll teach one troubleshooting technique per day. And you can get error like this. Okay, if you are getting error, there is no pom.xml means you need to check whether you are on project folder or not. And troubleshooting technique too, I'll tell on tomorrow's session. Okay. So what is the technique you learned today? If there is, you want to take it? Okay, take it then. Don't take all. Okay, take only one per day. Okay, fine. So what is the first troubleshooting technique in Maven? If you don't have pom.xml in your current folder, so the goals are not going to execute. But sir, again, if I go to my folder, cd Jenkins Java project, if I give same command, I mean like same goal if I give, is it going to work or not, sir? No? Is it working properly or not? So that is the issue for the Maven. So now the class is done for today. So now if you are having any doubts or any queries over today's session, you can ask me now. We still have a lot of time to discuss. So before going for doubts and queries, so offline, how's the session for today? The class clear for all of you? Of course, I know Maven will take some time to understand. If you practice now, it is going to be very easy. But trust me, in real time, you don't do all of this process, sir. You will write only one command called mbn clean package. But why I am taking one separate session means to give you the clarity. Okay. So remember, from tomorrow onwards, your actual DevOps is going to start. Till now, what you learned is only prerequisite. So from tomorrow, we are going to start a tool called Jenkins. From there, you can see the real work of a DevOps engineer. Sorry? Cloud. Troubleshooting you want me to show? You want to note it, huh? Okay, I'll give it like just first of all, let me upload the notes file. Then I'll give it fine. Okay, want to get the data? Fine. So from today onwards, I'll try to give the data also. What is the date for today? Like 5, right? Date 05. So I have given there troubleshooting you asked for, right? Take this. Don't write this one, okay? Don't write this one. This is not required actually. Just only Maven issue and what is the expected. So this I write for your clarity only. Don't write this one. Sir, when we use Maven concept in real time, in Jenkins only we will use that. You can come to know on tomorrow session, like how we are going to use it. You can use Swapnil, but instead of this one, you can use Gradle too. It depends upon like your requirement to whether to go with Maven or whether to go with Gradle. Still, any questions or any queries from your end? Yeah. No, we don't have. So everything is going to be from CLI mode. Why? Because this is only what we call this one. Comments only, right? So for comments, we don't have GUI. But in tomorrow session, you can see the GUI. In Jenkins, completely we are going to work on GUI. Okay. Again, for a Gradle, you need to follow some different patterns of Nil. Don't worry about the Gradle. So majority of the people will use Maven only. Okay. So no need to worry about that one. Okay then. So seems everyone is fine with today's session. So let's meet on tomorrow's class. Have a great day. Bye all. I think already I have given 2 idioms in last class, right? Oh, only one idiom, huh? Correct idiom. Like, what is your last idiom? Hit the henna. Okay. So in today's session, write idiom as this. Ahead of the pack. Ahead of the pack means more successful than your competitors. For example, like here you are having a group. Okay. In this group, today I'm explaining Maven, but already if you know the Maven everything, so you are ahead of the pack. That means you know already before than your competitors. That is what we can call as ahead of the pack. Clear? Okay, then thanks everyone. Let's meet on tomorrow session. Have a great day. Bye all.